Hello, my friend. Welcome to Living in Sync. I'm your host, Joelle Cease. I'm a mom, a podcast producer, a podcast host, and I'm just here to help you live in a well-rounded way, no matter what season of life that you are in. And today I am coming at you with a pep talk. I hope that these pep talks are put in your back pocket. You maybe save them to your podcast app. If you're watching the show, you can click save on this episode to come back to, because today's pep talk is pretty special because it's something all of us are going to feel and go through, and the depths of which we feel this way is going to vary. Sometimes it's going to feel really, really heavy, and sometimes it's just going to be like I have no idea how this is all going to work out. So this is for you if you're in one of those moments where you're like, I don't know how this is all going to work out. I don't know what is going to happen next. I don't know what's the next step. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 5 years. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 10 years. And if you're that type of person that's trying so hard to figure it all out, if you're that person that is really trying to have what's the word I'm looking for? You guys, what is it? What is it that a fortune teller has? Like a globe that sits in front of you that shows you your future. That's not how life is meant to work. I don't think we are supposed to know what the planned path ahead of us looks like from A to Z. I really genuinely am like, okay, so if life is A and Z is the end of our life, I really don't think that we are meant to know what Z, Y, X, W, V, U, blah, 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 all the letters of the alphabet are. That we are just meant to take it one day at a time. And to do the today things well. You guys have listened to the episode on my show with one of my clients, Corey Lee of the Corey Lee Show podcast. I'll obviously link that in the show notes. But the living one day at a time is a foundation in recovery and sobriety. And even though I'm not in the program or anything like that, I've really been encompassing living one day at a time and focusing on one day at a time. And it's even helped me so much with overwhelm in the sense of time management. I'm going to explain. I didn't have that plan to come to you on this episode, but I'm going to share it anyway, where I used to always live with this frantic energy of like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to get all of this stuff done. I don't know how I'm going to get all of this stuff done. I don't know when I'm going to do all of these things. Like, I always had this, I don't have enough time mentality. And I think it was because being a mom, you do realize like you're not fully in control of your time. And it sometimes feels even more frantic to crash a lot into a little bit of time, especially when you know like, oh, I only have this many hours because that's when my kids are at school. I only have that many hours because my kids wake up at this time, or I only have this many hours. And so you start seeing it as so limited. And yes, time is limited, but living one day at a time and doing today's things and only focusing on today's things and the today things that I have, whether it be the today things that I have to work on or the appointments of today, or, maybe our upstairs bathroom is disgusting today, and just only working on those things day by day. It's helped me so much mentally because I now have this new reframe of everything gets done in time and on time. And I had to start looking for the proof of that, because truly with podcast production, even when things have been short, like the deadline has gotten shortened, whether it be a client have something come up and I need to produce it, it's always worked out and I've never missed a deadline. We've never missed a published date. We have never missed a deadline. And even with the things like the bathroom and whatnot, it's not that now I think I have to clean my whole house. I can just look at said certain area that's a little bit out of control, take care of that one, and move on. right? I don't have to do all of the things in one day. I don't have to worry about what I am doing tomorrow, because with tomorrow, things will come. Like, obviously, I know my calendar. Obviously, you guys know I'm a planner person. I'm literally sitting at my desk. I've got 2 planners at my desk at all times. One that's like my layout of the week, that is my project management, my paper project management, and then my other paper planner, which is a day designer, the day designer from Target, and that is my daily tasks and to-dos. And guess what? Week over week over week, I've always gotten things done. So this living one day at a time and doing the today's things and doing the today's things done well in the best that I can. Maybe it doesn't happen on the schedule that I want it to, but I'm just getting those things done in the best that I can do today has served me so well, because here's one thing that it has helped me with is it doesn't let my brain spiral. If it's not a decision for you to act on today, then the emphasis on it doesn't need to be there. So it has stopped my brain spiral. Yeah, there's definitely times where I'm like, okay, I know for sure I have to get this done by Friday. Like the tabs on my car, they have to be purchased by Friday. But if I don't need to carry that with me all week. And also with how I'm looking at my calendar right now, I'm like, well, I could take care of it right then and there. And then I do that then. And I don't make the drama about it. So it's really helped me not spiral about all of the to-dos that I have to take care of, but really focus in on one day at a time. And also, I'm not sitting around while each day is happening. I'm really only focused on what it is I can do today. For example, I have a couple clients who haven't gotten me their episodes yet, but I know they will. I don't have to be sitting here worrying about them getting those things to me because I don't have those things to work on yet. But instead, I'm looking at, okay, but what are the other things that I have on the docket that I could be doing right now? I'm showing up for today. Yesterday, I showed up for yesterday. I know right now my work is really important to me. My training and nutrition is really important to me. And home life, family life, kids, mom stuff, all of that is also really important to me. So I do have boundaries in that sense and essence of like, hey, when it's like kids are home from school, like computers typically usually shut unless I have to just, bebop in and do a couple things. But I'm just focusing on making today its best with the given things of today. And everything is working out on time and in time. And if you're in that spot where you're like, I'm trying so hard to make things work, I'm trying so hard to figure it out, I'm trying so hard to see where I need to go next, look in today. Because the next step is laced in today. It's somewhere in front of you. But it seems so small and seems so insignificant that you're ignoring it, my friend. It's not a big shiny object. It's not this like big knock on the door, big fireworks in the sky. It is right in front of you. And it's a small step. And it's a small step that you don't even know is the next thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. It is a seemingly small, insignificant thing. But your brain is either waiting for something big, shiny, and flashy, or it's trying to it's so frazzled by what could be and the what ifs and maybe this, maybe that. Like tone it back and look at today. If health and workouts and fitness and nutrition is something you want to start embarking on, you don't have to do what other fitness people are doing. I'll never forget, we really cracked a code with one of my clients who was always trying to, this was back when I did health and fitness coaching, but she was always trying to figure out how to become a morning person to get her morning workout in. But then she was like, but I get done with work at this time of the day. And I think it was 4:00. And she's like, it's always kind of a weird time between 4:15 when I get home and 5:30 when I start dinner. And I'm like, why don't you drink your pre-workout on your way home from work? When you get home, put on your workout clothes, see what happens. Guess what? She is now consistently working out at least 3 days a week after work. That's amazing. She doesn't have to worry about putting the pressure on herself to become a 5 a.m. workout person, because it can work in another spot in her day. Now, some of you may be like, oh, I don't like working out at afternoon, and I don't like this, and blah, 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 and thinking of all of your own excuses as to why that perfect plan couldn't work for you, and you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The point is you taking a look at your day. What is important to you, or what are you saying that is something that you want to start doing, but you're really thinking of it in the scope of it has to look this perfect way, or if I can't do it this way, then I can't do it at all. How do you make it work for you? How do you make it work for you? And I truly think, like, if you are feeling this sense of stuckness in your life in some way, shape, or form, if you start elevating physically, not just like working out and eating healthy, but, your external, putting on clothes that you feel comfortable and confident in, or making sure that some people are going to not like that I say this, but do some makeup and brush your hair. Like, spend a little time on your physical appearance. Sometimes that can lead to some extra confidence and energy and a little bit of an elevated feeling, because like if you're wanting to create social media content, but then you open your camera app and you're like, oh, like I didn't put on makeup today, or if you just feel a little sense of getting ready, getting prepared, being prepared for what is to come, and you're showing up and you're showing that you're ready for it, whether that's being somebody who is consistent in their workouts. If you're feeling like you are not strong emotionally, try some strength training. Try lifting some heavy stuff. If you feel like you are constantly giving up when things get hard, start taking some cardio classes. Start pushing past, oh, I can't even run a mile. And then the first time you run 1.5 miles, you're going to be like, dang. That's what I'm trying to say here, is like, it could be that workout mentality, but even if you're like, because you know what? I know a lot of people are talking about follow their feelings and whatnot. My feelings are fickle. I'm tapped into my intuition, and I know my intuition wants me to show up and be my best, at my best every single day. And yes, that even means in luteal phase, I do my hair, I do my makeup, I put on a cute matching set. Maybe it's something a little bit more comfortable, because yes, sometimes I get bloated, and yes, sometimes I doubt myself because luteal brain does that, but I still am showing up for my work and talking to my clients and doing my workouts as best as I can, even if I'm not the strongest. Or, I wanted to go 4 miles on my long run on last Saturday, and when I got to 3.25, I checked in and my body was like, I'm done. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I push past this a little bit. Am I supposed to push past this a little bit? I ended the run at 3.44. I didn't make myself go to 3.5 miles. I ended at 3.44, but I was dang proud of myself for even getting a run in during luteal phase, because no matter what phase I'm in, my body's going to appreciate movement. No matter what phase I'm in, challenging myself is going to feel good on the other side of it. And yes, my fitness is important to me, and doing my work is important to me. If those things weren't important to me, I wouldn't be prioritizing the push in those areas, right? So this pep talk went a little bit all over the place. But if you are that person right now where you're like, I don't know how this is going to work out, I don't know how or what I want or where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to be doing, remember, this is something where we have all been there. We will have times where we feel this again. Sometimes it'll feel extra heavy, and sometimes it'll just kind of be a little hazy. But stop trying so hard. Stop thinking so hard about it in the scope of needing to know what the future is and you trying to work out that future. I put that in the hands of my faith. You put that in the hands of whatever you believe in. If you don't know what you believe in, try my faith on for size, because 10 out of 10 recommend that God's got you. God's got you. And one day at a time, do today well. Show up today the best you that you can be. And don't let your brain spiral on how is this going to work out, or what if, or what that. And in the moments of where a decision needs to be made, oftentimes I think there's just this element of like, I don't know why, but this feels right. And it's almost kind of a cozy feeling to make that change. It can feel uncomfortable and you kind of feel worried of like, this seems kind of weird, but for whatever reason, that is Holy Spirit guidance, I think, a little bit. That's how it's kind of felt for me, at least. But don't sit around and expect things to start just like knocking on your door, or fireworks to go off in your head, or a big download to come to your brain, and whatever. Just look around you right now and show up for today, because that next step that you need is in today. But if you keep ignoring today, you're going to be missing that step. Work on physically elevating yourself if you are feeling like you need those challenges. I love the example. I'm going to say it again. If you're feeling like you're mentally and emotionally weak, try strength training and try progressively overloading. Meaning, if you can't even do one push-up on your toes, set a goal of doing one push-up on your toes. When you get to one push-up on your toes, do 2 push-ups on your toes, then get to 3, then get to 12. And at 12, you are going to have a new sense of both physical and mental strength by challenging yourself. If you're like, it's the endurance, I keep giving up before it gets good, how can you physically build that endurance? And know and lean in on your belief that it's going to work out. And it's going to work out better than you could imagine. Because all the plans that my teen self had, so glad they didn't work out. All the plans that my 20-year-old self had, you guys, I have journals on journals on journals, because I was in network marketing. So we were told once a week, sit down and write 10 goals that you want to achieve in the next 5 years, 10 years. And I look at that journal and I'm like, I am so glad those goals did not work out. I'm so glad those goals did not work out. And now in my mid-30s, I'm like, okay, I know that living is in the day today, because we do not know. We do not know if we're going to make it, not to be morbid, but it's real. We don't know if we're going to make it to 40. We don't know if we're going to make it to 55. We don't know if we're going to make it to 75. So living in today and living today well is all we have. That does mean making good choices of like, God willing, my grandma's going to be 95 this spring, you guys. God willing, I'm 95. I'm going to be putting in the effort to have a strong body, to have a strong mind, to be set up financially. I'm going to make good choices in my life that will support, because I sure hope, but I don't know. I don't know. This was a good pep talk, my friend. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please take a screenshot, share it up on your social media, or just like send it to a friend. You can hit that share button within the podcast app. You can save this to your phone whenever you need a pep talk, because I'll probably be re-listening to these pep talks multiple times. If you need to, send me a DM on Instagram on how it touched you personally, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you loved what you heard or you want to share your favorite episode topics, please leave a rating and review. This helps the podcast growth and gives people an idea of what the podcast is all about. Something new and exciting that I wanted to share with you before we go is that we now have a Patreon page. This has replaced the Feminine Edge collective community in a cohesive place that is easier for me to manage and cheaper for you. If you are interested in our monthly classes, exclusive day in the life vlogs, Bible studies, community Q&A, and more, go to patreon.com/livingInSync and join for just $5 a month. Check out the show notes for any links or details of things referenced in today's episode, and I look forward to chatting with you in the next one.